with the numbers from a distance, but at the very least, the Mountaineers are getting very close to a possible pay dirt strike.
Yep, they're going to mark it right on the 5 now. So it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 5.
So from the 5-yard line, they will give it another shot, and we'll see how this all plays here. Once again, they'll line up slot to the far side, 3rd and goal from the 5. Haddons, he's done a nice job driving the players down. Let's see if he can finish. He goes back. He throws short passes, caught, but a short play and a turnaround. I don't think he got in.
No.
He's probably about 2 yards short.
Yeah, it depends on where they're going to give him the forward progress on this play. But it was a good one-handed catch. He just couldn't get anything going once he caught the ball. It's good pursuit by the defense.
And the defense was able to pursue because the play was a little bit slow in developing.
That's correct.
So
yeah,
now
so no gain. They're putting it right back at the 5.
Oh, wow. I thought he got a little further than that, but I guess I was wrong.
And
now a penalty flag is down. What's this all about? And again,
looks like there's an argument between the Owls and the referee.
And could this be another free first down?
I'm going to say it's going to be half the distance and a first down.
Well, it has to be because it's a major penalty if it's
Yeah.
unsportsmanlike conduct.
I agree.
I mean, you just don't normally see it out of this team. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
it's an exhibition.
I don't know what they were arguing about or what the issue was. It was after the play for sure.
Yes, indeed. So it is an unsportsmanlike call, a dead ball foul, and I think they're going to reset the down markers. We're trying to see.
I'm waiting to see.
It
still says 4th down
yeah,
right now.
it still does. I mean, well, we'll just go with what's there. But the ball will be spotted at about the 2. And C.J. Hans has a real opportunity to get points on the board. But really the key is, especially if you learn later in the year, it's a matter of being composed.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're signaling first down, so it is going to be 1st and goal now.
Oh, my goodness. All right, so a new set of downs. Another gift for the Mountaineers. 1st and goal from the 2. They hand it off up the pike. Missed tackle, and I believe a goal. Yes, it is. Welcome to the end zone. And I don't know, he was trying to dance, but whatever the case, it is a touchdown for the Mountaineers. And that was, I think, Paul Haylett who gets the 2-yard touchdown run. And the Mountaineers have punched the time clock, and they've made a 1-score game.
Yeah, that was a good job. He went right up through that middle from the 2-yard line, so it was a good push by the offensive line. He followed them right in, and you know, it's almost impossible to stop anybody from the 2-yard line, especially when you're frustrated as a defense after the penalties and things like that. You're not focused and you're not playing as a unit. That's usually when you let up a touchdown. And
even though they were up 2 touchdowns at that point, now it's an 8-point game. Now, this is going to be a very important 2-point conversion because now if they convert it, it's a 6-point game and a touchdown level things. Let's see what Haddons does on the conversion. He takes the snap, he waits, he fires, and the pass is dropped incomplete. There's no flags there, so that makes it a count of 14-6. So why don't we okay, so I thought we were going to go replay, but we are not at this point in time. We're going to tell everybody we are on the air, and we apologize for the lower quality and appreciate your patience. Unfortunately, we are out of gigs.
Been a long day. We used them all up.
Well, part of it, don't forget, remember, we started at 4 o'clock, but Mother Nature decided, if you want anything to blame, it is Mother Nature's fault. Because an hour 20 rain delay because of heavy thunderstorms in the first game in the middle of the first quarter caused us to get some extra programming on for an hour and a half.
Right.
So
that ate up a lot of gigs.
Yep, and obviously the carrier doesn't care. What you give is what you give. So can't get them back. So unless the world has free Wi-Fi, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way.
No, it does not.
So that's why, I mean, it's 10:27 right now Eastern Time, but we would probably have been done maybe about 40 minutes ago if it weren't for that rain delay.
Yeah.
But obviously it was not safe. There was a lot of lightning in the area. The referees suspended the game at that point in time, midway first quarter, between the Gladiators and the Sharks. and we didn't resume play until probably about 5:30, 5:40. So about an hour 20 later, we finally got going and didn't have any further interruptions.
Yeah, and listen, it's better be safe than anything else, right? The last thing you want to do is to have somebody get hurt. So good job by delaying the game and taking care of the safety of the players and the fans. But again, it just caused us a little bit of a problem on our end. But we'll deal with it. We'll get through it, and we'll.
Well, we already got through that. Now we got to get through the last quarter and a half of this game. Remember, every game's an adventure, and you just don't know how you're going to work things out. So, not much we can do about that, but as we resume play, whoops, hold on a second. The kickoff happened, and now the official said, do it again, 5 yards further backward. That is a procedure foul on the kickoff.
Wow, that's tough, especially after you just scored.
You have the momentum. You just got a touchdown, and now you get a 5-yard penalty on a kickoff.
Yeah, that's a momentum killer right there. You know, you're hyped up. You just scored. You want to go down and hit somebody, and then you get a penalty.
And just so everybody knows that this game will be reposted at some point tomorrow, so definitely check back with us here on HSG Network. We'll be able to have that up for you. And again, we do apologize for that inconvenience. So, as of course, we're getting some, I guess, good well wishes from good friend of ours from many years, Tracy Alford. Of course, remembering him from a few other leagues and stuff like that. And of course, I mean, he was probably one of the people who laughed hysterically at my old podcasts. But anyway, here's a short kickoff, and it'll be taken by an up man to 38-yard line. He reverses
gears. He's got some blockers.
But
around the corner.
What he couldn't get by. The man who returned it was Donshea Speed, but a great tackle by Chaz Stevens, and that forces the Tri-County Owls to start. They're still going to get very good field position.
Yeah, that might have been a touchdown saving tackle, because if he gets around that corner, there's nobody there. He's
it just
done.
looked a little too crowded for him to get around the corner.
Yeah, he had blockers out there. He had a nice little wall. It was just a great defensive play to make that tackle and stop him from getting around the corner.
And now the Owls, who have had once again their moments where bad things have happened, now they've got to mentally check back in. You're up 14-6. One mistake, if they get pick sixed on and a 2-point conversion happens, we have a tie game.
That's correct. Let's see if they come out with any changes here in the second half.
I think also the Owls got a very nice spot because they're spotting the ball right at the midfield stripe. It looked like he was down a few yards further back. But, hey, we're all in a learning experience here. So, 1st and 10 at midfield. And once again, quarterback Joseph Taylor with an I formation this time. Let's see what they decide to do here. Pretty short field, but Taylor is going to hand this off to the right. Bouncing, crossing the 45, spinning down to about the 43-yard line. Ed Burgess has had a pretty nice game. I'll tell you, he is a very shifty runner.
Yeah, he had a nice offensive line push on that. They cleared a big hole there. His tight end made a nice block. The fullback made a nice block. He followed everybody right up the field and got about 8 yards on that. Good job by the offense.
To the 42-yard line, last-second substitution. I mean, hustling fast to the side and almost running to Cherry Hill was one of the players to get the right players on the field. Here's Burgess again, a handoff up the middle, and doesn't look like, we'll see where they spot it. Might be a yard short of a first down, but like I said, all depends on the official spot. And I think it's going to be third and about a yard and a half. And they're going to spot it about the 41-yard line.
Yeah, so that's going to make it third and yard and a half.
That's what I just said.
Like you said, I was getting to that. So we'll see what they come out here with. 2 run plays in a row. Let's see if they get a third and try and get this first down. I think you want to kind of slow the game down a little bit, get the momentum back on your side, being up by a touchdown right now. So let's see what they do.
Monotonous, isn't it? So 3rd and a yard. They're going to say the 41-yard line, and Taylor's going to design a play here. They might go big here. They'll go I formation. They just have one receiver, so you can pretty much tell it's going to be a big push. No, it's a play action. And, throwing it, taking a huge hit. An incomplete pass as Taylor got clocked by Sean Doxey as he threw the football. It almost ended up being intercepted, but there is a Mountaineer that got really shaken up on the play. And the one that was shaken up looks like Mike Lucido, who's down on one knee, and they're going to call an official timeout just to take a look at him. But, wow, that was a hard hit.
He got hit from the blind side. He didn't see it coming just as he was releasing the ball, so the ball didn't go where he wanted it to. And the defensive lineman reached out, almost got the ball, and then when he fell down, I think that's when he got hurt because he's the one that's down. I don't know if he fell on the ball or
got the wind knocked
maybe
out
knocked
of
the
him.
wind knocked out of him, but he went down as he was trying to get that ball. But a great play on both sides on the hit on the quarterback. It was a blindside hit. Good job there. And then again for that defensive lineman to see where that ball was going and be able to reach out and try and get a hold of it.
So that forces now a 4th and a yard. This really puts Tri-County in a very interesting position. Now, you want to gain the momentum back. Obviously, the Mountaineers have played a much more charged and a determined second half. The Owls are still on their heels. They could probably gain some stability if they go for it and get the first down there. So let's see what happens here.
It's 4th down, and it looks like they're going to go for it during the I formation. I expect a big push here by the offensive line. Hopefully they're up for the task.
All right, so 4th and a yard. Taylor with the handoff up the pike. It's going to be a first down to the 38-yard line. They needed a yard, and they got 3 on the play. So for the Owls, that's a big break for them, as it's Ed Burgess, who has had a good part of the carries of this game, picks up a big 3 yards, and it ends up being a first down. They'll spot the ball, and they're going to give him the 38-yard line. So it is a gain of 3, and OHA Studio first down, by the way.
Yeah, again, that's just good power running by him. He got hit at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter.
Yep, 3-quarter time it is. So we have one more quarter to go. We have 7 quarters in the books for him to stop the violence doubleheader. But after 3, the Tri-County Owls lead. The Hudson County Mountaineers 14-6 will come back with the final quarter of this one right after this. Welcome back to the Teamsters Local 107 Press Box here in Pensauk in the final quarter of play of this doubleheader between the Owls and the Mountaineers. As here's a pass play, it's caught, going down to the 20, inside a big hit to about the 12-yard line, then a late hit after that, which is going to cost another half the distance. Yeah. Now, as Mother Nature was putting rain in the first game of this doubleheader, now it's raining flags here to start the final quarter.
Yeah, again, the hit wasn't late on the tackle. It was a good hit. He didn't have to do what he had to do after the play, and that's what's going to cause your penalty. It's just bad discipline on his part to get that penalty after a pass like that.
Well, there's going to be probably a penalty against the Mountaineers for unnecessary roughness after the play was over, so that's going to give the Owls a goal-to-go situation. So now all of a sudden, the Owls, who are committing to disciplinary fouls in the third quarter, suddenly it's the Mountaineers doing that in the final quarter when it's still a one-score game.
Yeah, and it looks like they're discussing this a little bit more than usual, so let's see what they call.
Okay, a
So
personal.
offsetting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Offsetting fouls, so there's no half the distance. It'll just be a first down for the Owls, and the ball be spotted at about the 13-yard line. It was almost half the distance, but because of the offsetting fouls, that cancels out. So that also was a real big play because it ended up going for 24 yards and a nice catch by Corey Purnell, who's been doing better in this game. All right, first down, handoff, Burgess up the middle, and he'll get close to the 10-yard line, but only a couple yards on that play as he tried to go up the middle. So 2nd and 7 coming up with obviously this being a pretty entertaining game. And the Mountaineers not giving up, and the Tri-County Owls, like usual in the final quarter, that's when they're usually at their best. That's why they've won a couple of championships. That's why they are the experienced team that they are when it comes to things like this.
That's correct. That's what, this is where you kind of put the hammer to the wood here. You got for second down here at the 11-yard line. You punch this in, you go up by 2 scores, and then you put your defense back out on the field.
All right, so it is second and we'll say about 7 from the 10-yard line. They're going to hand off up the middle, and it looks like this will get to about maybe the 11. So it'll be third down. We're just playing with some wires here as we're just trying to get some things all straightened out here. So for the Owls right now, this is an opportunity for them to possibly put this one to bed. I mean, they're up 14-6, but like I said, one little misstep, and that could really change things here. So, coming back in, Corey Purnell, he's had a better time in receiving the ball. He had a little bit of a tough spot in the first, quarter or so. I think a lot of it had to do with the lighting and the sun setting and all that stuff. I mean, obviously, this is much better in weather conditions compared to what we had back around 4:30 this afternoon. But that's all said and done, and we can at least breathe a little bit easier.
Yeah, so here we go. Let's see what they come out with here on third down.
It's from the 9-yard line. So they have a 3rd and 5 from the 9. Here's Taylor back. He's looking. He may call his number. Looking, firing! And he is out of bounds. Incomplete. He dove, but he didn't land feet first. He landed shoulder first, about 4 feet out of bounds. So it's an incomplete pass. And now it forces 4th and 5. And I wouldn't be surprised they called Sokolov in for a field goal or Sokolov. I'll get the names right. I mean, remember, he's not on the list, so I can't memorize that very well.
That's correct. And, on that play, if he gets his feet down before his shoulder hits, that's a good touchdown. He just dove and went down head first and shoulder first into the ground. He's got to keep his feet down on the ground on that and get that touchdown. That's a big play right there for that receiver.
Well, it'll be 4th and 5 from the 9, so the Owls are definitely going for it. They're up 8, but they need to be careful here in what they do. As Taylor will line up in the shotgun, they may go empty gun here. They go heavy on the left side receiver-wise. Here's Taylor going back, rolling right, going further backward. Dodges away. Now let's see what he does. He'll run to the right. He's got a man open if he wants. Lobs it for the end zone. And is it?
Dropped.
It might have been, you might be right.
He dropped it.
Yeah, it is dropped and incomplete. There were a couple of Owls that were signaling touchdown, but they weren't even looking for the receiver in the back of the end zone for the ball.
The ball bounced so far away from the receiver that everybody thought he had it because they couldn't see the ball in the general area.
Or were
but
they
the
watching?
ball had already bounced out.
Or were they watching the college halftime highlights of those catches?
Maybe that was it, right?
Well, whatever the case, the Owls have turned the ball over on downs, and now the Mountaineers have a chance, but they have 91 yards to travel to get themselves back and going here. They're down 14-6. Now, for those of you who missed it earlier, we had a great first game as the Garden State Gladiators came from behind with a late touchdown and 2-point conversion to defeat the Jersey Sharks 14-13. Now, here are the Owls up 14-6, and they were cruising. But the Mountaineers have decided, you know what? We didn't come 2.5, 3 hours south for nothing. We want to make a statement, and I think so far they have.
Yeah, so they get the turnover now. They got the ball. They got to go a long way to get this score. again, it's a 14-6 game, just like the last game. So we'll see what happens here if they can pull this out.
1st and 10 from the 9-yard line. Once again, the quarterback, C.J. Hannons. He's in the shotgun formation. He'll take the snap, and they're going to try and run it, and he crosses about to the 10 and maybe down to about the 15, 16-yard line. Actually, maybe a little further than that. Looks like the 18-yard line. So that's a 9-yard pickup.
Yeah, so that's a great first down play, right? So now you got 2nd and short. You can take a chance and try and throw a ball a little bit here and see what you can do. Maybe catch the defense sleeping.
I think the Owls have.
Or you just go for the first down. But again, 2nd and 1 is where you want to be as an offensive unit.
That's true, but remember, the Owls have kind of been a little bit asleep here in the second half too. So
Agreed.
Now it's a matter of the Mountaineers trying to take full advantage of this. They're down 8, and they could try and make it down a little bit further if they keep this going. 2nd and 1. They got a couple men moved over to the left side. One guy in the slot. Shotgun for Hannons. He will wait for the snap, and he'll take it. And now he's under a rush. He's going to try and run over to the right side, and he gets out of bounds. He might have possibly lost a couple yards depending on the spot.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty close to the line of scrimmage. I can't see what the spot is from our angle here.
Actually, I beg your pardon. He probably just gained a few yards. I mean, like I said, we're in a small press box trying to deal with the camera angles as best we can. And they're going to spot the 20-yard line. So it's a 2-yard pickup and another first down for the Mountaineers. So they keep the drive going. And right now, I'll tell you what, the change of quarterbacks has really helped the Mountaineers in the second half.
Yeah, different style quarterback. The other one was a pocket passer. Here we're seeing a quarterback that can move a little bit. He's a tall, skinny quarterback. He's got a decent arm, good arm strength, but he's able to move a little bit wiry more than the quarterback we saw in the first half.
All right, 1st and 10 from about the 20. Here's Hannons, and he's going. Oh, he lost his footing, and he goes down for a big loss all the way back to maybe the 13-yard line. I think it was a broken play and then broken footing.
Yeah, he slipped. He looks like he went to fake a handoff and then roll out, and as he pulled the ball back in from the fake handoff, his foot just slipped out from underneath him, and he went down.
And it ends up being a huge loss. In fact, I think he may have lost 11 yards on the play. So
yeah, they're on the
10-yard line.
Yeah,
we'll say 10 rather. So it will be 2nd and 20. So basically the equivocation of an incomplete pass and a hold.
Basically, yeah. So now you put yourself in a hole here on 2nd and long. Is it 2nd, right? 2nd and long?
Yeah, 2nd and quite long, 2nd and 20.
So now you're in a big hole. You got to, we were just talking about being 2nd and 1. Now you're 2nd and long. It's a completely different kind of mentality you got to have here.
So Hannons in the shotgun from the 10-yard line, takes the snap, has some time. He's clobbered.
And he fumbled.
No, it's recovered. There goes the Mountaineers crossing about the 20-yard line. So it turned out to be a fumble, but a very alert play. And I might have been Jamison who might have picked the ball up and gotten some of those yards back and then some. Let's see where they spot the football. They might have gotten 10 yards right back.
Yeah, that was a sack and a fumble and a 10-yard gain.
You don't see that very often in football.
So in the stat book, it's going to show a stat, a fumble, 10-yard gain. You don't ever see that very often at all.
Unless you're a really kooky coach and you actually want to put that in the playbook for like midway in the second quarter. Let your quarterback
take
get
the sack and fumble, and we'll pick it up and run.
Your receiver's 10 yards back. He sees where the ball's going. Boom, he picks up and runs over 10 yards. And then he gets clobbered.
So that brings up a 3rd down now.
Yes, 3rd and back to 3rd and 10.
Yeah.
So Jamison ends up getting the 10 yards back, and it may actually be just return yards because the ball came out. Here's Hannons back in the shotgun. Pump fakes. He's going to wait. Now he's going to run himself. Let's see what he does. Oh, he's not going to get much. He wanted to go to the outside, but the Owls were way too quick and getting to about the 24-yard line.
Yeah,
that might have been, I think, I was looking to see who was catching up to him. That might have been Mays, but he really flattened him that time, and it forces now a 4th and 7. Now, depending on how much time is left, do you punt the ball here?
Yeah, they sent the punt crew already out. The punt team's out there now, so they are definitely punting. I think you're this deep in your end of the field. It's still a lot of time left here in the 4th quarter. You don't want to risk going for it here.
But the bottom line is you got a first down at least on that particular possession, so you're not that far deep.
Yeah, gives them at least so you got room to punt.
There's a flag down on the punt, and it's kicked high and taken about the 47, going to about the 46 before a whole bunch of Mountaineers come in. Now, flag is down, so hold everything.
Let's see what they're talking about.
Guy might have run off the sideline, and that might have been a foul against the Mountaineers. And like I said,
they're discussing it now with the Mountaineers coach. I guess they're going to see if he wants to take the penalty.
And, it's going to be on the Owls, so it's a matter of what do you do now? Does this change now the complexion?
Yeah, if you take the penalty, then it makes you a shorter shorter fourth down. So do you then change your mind and go for it, or do you kick again?
Well, you now make it is offside against the Owls, so now
it's going to be repeat fourth down. It's going to be 4th and 5, or actually it's 4th and
2 maybe.
Yeah, it's 4th and 2 from what I can see from the chains right now. So they're sending the offense back on, and now 4th and 2 is a more manageable situation for you to go for it.
Now, this almost sounds like deja vu. In the final quarter of the first game between the Gladiators and Sharks, the Sharks, they were up 7, and the Gladiators had, I believe, a 4th and 13. They ended up punting the ball, but the Sharks were offside. It made it 4th and 8, so they decided to go for it, and they ended up getting a 33-yard pass, and that eventually led to what turned out to be the game-winning drive.
That's correct, and it was actually the same score, 14-6, when all that happened.
No, 13. It was
13, right? It was 13-6.
Yeah, 13-6. Very close, though.
Yeah. Same. We're almost in the same little window there.
Well, let's see what happens now. 4th and 2. They're gonna hand it off, and
I don't think he got it. I think it's
he's
going to
a half
be
yard short.
Yeah.
They're marking him short, the 29-yard line.
Wow. Great job by the defense to get that stop. I thought he was going to get it, and they just stonewalled him.
Yep, they don't even measure because they tried it. He fell a yard short, and the Mountaineers turned the ball over on down. So talk about the Tri-County defense bailing him out. There you go.
Yeah, he had momentum going towards the line of scrimmage, and they just stood him up and stopped him right there. That's a great job by the defense.
And that will be 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. Now the Owls have a chance to really put this away. I mean, there's still plenty of time left in the final quarter, but time is starting to be wasting, and I'm sure Lester Cream's going to try and come up with a way to try and wind things down and make it easy.
Yeah, I think if you're the Owls here, you want to kill the clock. You want to go on this nice, 27, 28, 29-yard drive, whatever it is here. Kill the clock as much as you can. Punch it in, go up by 2 scores, and then, leave it up to your defense to put the game away.
And really that's the thing, too, because, I mean, you want to try and get short run, keep it running, then 3rd down, then you get the 4th down, and if you can't kick, see if you get the 1st down, then keep the clock running that way.
Correct.
But that's easier said than done to try and manage the clock and then
it's all good. It's all good here when we're talking about it on paper, but to do it out on the field is another story.
Yeah, execution. 1st down as Taylor is back. He's under the pocket, escapes the pocket, rolls out, throwing deep on the right side. Incomplete. Look, I thought the right side of the offensive line for the Owls could have been called for a false start because that looked like a little bit of twerking going on the far side.
Yeah, I don't know if the refs didn't see it or if it was considered a legal move. It was hard to tell from where we are.
I wasn't exactly sure. I thought it could have been a false start.
I don't know if he flinched or what was going on over there.
It looked a little bit more than a flinch.
There was
no
flag,
call.
So I guess we're good to go.
At least for that play.
Yeah.
And it was incomplete anyway, so not that it matters. So 2nd and 10 from the 29-yard line. So this has been rather interesting. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for the 29-yard line. The Owls looking to try and put this one away. They're up 14-6, but it's not over yet. I mean, the first game pretty much I told you it's not over until the final horn sounds, if there is a horn. Taylor takes a low snap. He's going to fire one. The pass is caught, but good position that time. That was Stanley Bayless with the catch, but a nice defensive play by his other counterpart, and I think that might have been Greg Gales, and he's running off the field.
Number 13 is definitely hurt. It looks like he hurt his arm.
Yeah, he was holding his left arm and shoulder area, but he's running off, so it doesn't look like it's too serious, but one never knows.
So that's going to bring up 3rd and 12.
Yeah, 2-yard loss on the play.
Yeah.
So now the Mountaineers have another chance to get things back. I mean, remember, they got as far as the 29, fell 1 yard short of a first down, turned the ball over. If they can hold the Tri-County Owls to 4 and out, if you want to call it that, that will be huge, and they could get the momentum back here. But right now the Owls,
this is definitely going to be a big play right here.
Right now the Owls are trying to prevent that from happening. So 3rd and 12 from the 31-yard line. Shotgun for Taylor, takes a snap, slow backdrop, looking. There's a flag there. It's going to be a hold, and the pass is caught. Swing around to the 10, the 5, and he leans his shoulder down to about the 2, but every Mountaineer in Hudson County is calling for holding, and the officials are going to call the same thing. That looked almost pretty obvious to me.
Yeah, that was nice. The receiver caught the ball coming across the middle. He had a blocker over there that cleaned up for him as he turned the corner and got down to the 1 yard line. And then there's some pushing and shoving down by the goal line after that. So players had to be separated down there, but it was definitely a hold. We saw it here during the play. You could see it from every seat in the stadium.
I was going to ask if you saw any flags in the corner, but now a flag was thrown late.
There wasn't a flag originally. There was just some pushing and shoving and a little talking, but I think it just continued and continued.
And
wow. Finally they threw the flag.
Another unsportsmanlike call against Tri-County.
That's going to back them up twice now.
And that's a dead ball foul.
Right, so that's going to be 2 different penalties they're going to get marked off for here.
And it's going to turn into 3rd from Pennsauken to Edgewater Park.
Yeah, this is going to be, let's see, the first down marker right now is at the 20-yard line. So the 20-yard line is where the first down is sitting right now.
They're going to go all the way back to their
Let's see where they're going to back them up to.
Looks like I would say 25 yards of penalties and 3rd down.
Yeah.
They're going to be all the way back at their own 44-yard line. What they're going to have to do is pray for an illegal contact or defensive holding so they can move the chains.
Yeah, they're going to need something here. I mean, listen, their offense is good enough that they can in 2 plays can get this back.
Or 1. Just look at a Goodwin catching a 62-yard touchdown in the first quarter.
That's correct. So it's going to be 3rd and a long country mile here.
We are in Pennsauken next to Camden. So they would have to get all the way down to the 19-yard line. So you're talking pretty much a 3rd and quite a heck of a lot. But anyway, while we wait for that 3rd down play to happen, who do you think are the players of the game on both sides?
Right now, if the score stands the way it is defensively, you got to go with number 29, who had the 44-yard interception, because right now that's the difference in this game.
Well, I would also say Goodwin, who's had a couple nice catches. He had that 62-yarder. I would lean toward him a little bit more. All right, 3rd and a long way. Here is Taylor. He's going back. He's being chased even further. Now goes back. Oh, my goodness. How much more room does he have? And, missed tackle. Now he's scrambling. And now he's going to oh, no, he's not. Now he goes down all the way back to the 25-yard line.
And now you got to punt. It's fourth and 70 right now.
Well, I guess that might be stating the obvious. But
let's see here. 10, 20, 30,
4th
40.
and 56.
4th and 56 right now.
All right, who has a play now? But in all seriousness, MVPs for both teams on both sides of the ball. Who are your thoughts?
I think the quarterback for the Owls has had a good game here until the 4th quarter. So I don't know. This is tough. This is a tough game because hasn't been a lot of standouts like we had in the first game where there was some plays that really stood out. This has kind of been a lot of equal play amongst all the players. But again, number 9 had the 62-yard catch for the touchdown. 29 had the interception for a touchdown. I don't have stats here, so it's kind of hard to
I
go.
agree.
When it's this equal, it's really hard to go by if you don't have stats to look at.
Don't forget Jameson. Don't forget Jameson had that big catch earlier, and I think he's come up pretty big too, so we have to at least give him some
Exactly.
due on the offensive side of the
For
ball.
sure.
So, I mean, this is not normal that you see the marker at your own 25-yard line and
The first down's at the other 20.
a delay a game.
Wow.
Oh
Back
my
them up
God.
5 more.
All right. So for those of you who are watching, I mean I would lean toward Jameson, but you also got Hannon's too coming in the second half.
Yeah.
You can also discuss that as a possible offensive deal. So I mean, if I were to vote for the Owls, I would go for Goodwin.
I
if
agree.
I would go for the Mountaineers, I probably would go with Hannon's only because of what he has done
In the
here
second
in the
half.
second half.
Sure. And especially depending on what they do here in the late in the fourth quarter. So I would say definitely number 9, Maurice Goodwin, for the Owls.
And I would also say a David Hill, and I think and I don't know. I understand what they're doing here.
Oh, and he fumbled.
Oh, and now fumbled. Not going to matter anyway
And
because
Mountaineers
it's
got the ball.
recovered. It's recovered by the Mountaineers at about the 38-yard line. There was no change of possession. Boy, I'll tell you what. If there was a change of possession there, and then they fumbled it back to the Owls, boy, would that be the worst case scenario for them?
That would have been a game ender. You know, the momentum just would have totally went downhill right there.
I mean, this has become the theater of the bizarre here.
Yeah. So now you got 1st and 10 from the 38. So you're 38 yards away from the tying touchdown. So
now,
let's see what they can do.
I don't think they're going to listen to record book 4th and 61 as probably the longest downs marker to go in football history. After all, we remind our fans it is an exhibition. But I'm going to be looking this up when I get home. But for now, let's get back to the drama. Mountaineers 1st and 10, the out 38. And a handoff and a clothesline and a fumble. And could the Owls have gotten the ball back after all this? They did.
Wow. That's a great job by the defense. Great. He stuck his arm out there, grabbed him right across the chest, pulled him down, caused the fumble, and the defense gets the ball back.
You know, the two people I really feel the most right now are the chain gang.
Yeah,
and they're like,
they're walking more than anybody else on the field.
I mean, that looked like a clothesline. The helmet went off, and I'm saying to myself, did this just really happen?
So
that's
you
why
got 4th and 61, and on the next play, you got a 1st down.
Well, let's put it this way. These 4 words. Now I've seen everything.
Wow.
Now we really haven't, but the way this fourth quarter has been, I mean, this has been just entertaining to say the least. But in any event, and it's first down to 40-yard line for the Owls. And, I mean, there might have been some possible argument that maybe the ground caused the fumble, but the officials didn't say so. So, therefore, the Owls get it back. And now they have 1st and 10 and not 1st and 51.
Yeah, and they have enough field in front of them that if they go on a nice long drive here, they can probably kill the clock and end the game.
Man, talk about how bizarre, if anything else. I mean,
yeah, that was crazy. That was a crazy set of downs right there.
I've seen some weird things. I mean, I did a triple overtime game back in 2010, but I mean, this might be the most surreal. Here's a handoff, Burgess. Burgess tackled at the 41-yard line. That was a beautiful tackle by Raleigh Ranny, who was able to clip him down, maybe for a 1-yard pickup at the most.
Yeah, it was a solo tackle. Great job to take out his legs. He had a head of steam heading towards that line of scrimmage. He probably would have got a couple yards if he doesn't hit him in the ankles right there.
So now 2nd and 9 from the 41-yard line. I'm still trying to get over this one.
We got a timeout.
2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. Wow. Let's see what other crazy things can happen in the final 2 minutes. We want to take a moment while we have a second and thank the major sponsors for this Stop the Violence tournament that we have had here tonight in Pensacola. We've had a couple very interesting, very competitive games. We want to thank Gerald Adams at OHA Studios for being a great sponsor to us. He was actually here with us today. here inside the Teamsters Local 107 press box out on Townsend Avenue in Philadelphia. So thank you guys very much. And also to Milestone Catering at 109 North 6th Street in Camden, New Jersey. Thank you guys very much for your sponsorship, of course, for the first ever Stop the Violence tournament. And it has been a really good one. Hoping next year we will be able to do this thing again.
With more gigs, that's correct.
All right. And more. Oh, here's a handoff up the pike. Oh, and a missed tackle and a lost helmet, which stops the play automatically at the 48-yard line, and that's going to be a first down and a gain of 11. And now flag goes down.
Number 25.
2 flags goes down.
Number 25 was talking to the player, and then as he walked away, he swung his hand at him. They're going to get him for a personal foul.
This gets more bizarre by the minute here. Now, this came after the play was over, so that's got to back him up. The question is 1st and 10 or 1st and 25. And it stops the clock.
You get a 10-yard run. You get a first down. It was a nice run, a hard run. And then the defensive player talks to you, and you swing at him. I mean, that's uncalled for. You can't do that. You can't do that. You're putting your team in a situation now.
If you don't do that, you keep the clock running. You force them to call a timeout. Now, under 2 minutes, any penalty stops the clock, and now you can't just run the clock out. So now the Owls, even though they have a first down, the chain people, like I said, I really feel for them because they're going back and forth and back and forth.
They don't know where they're supposed to be because they're going up and down the field.
I mean, this has got to be. I'm not saying this is a comic of errors, but this. I mean, the Twilight Zone. If it were done on a football field, we're witnessing it right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's not the Manhattan Transfer either. So first and 10, we'll see where they spot the ball. Now, they already marked the ball at the 38, back in their own territory. The question is it 1st and 10 or is it first and 25? It's going to
be 1st and 10.
Because remember, it's a dead ball foul.
Right.
That's when it happened.
Right. So it's still going to be 1st and 10. They're just going to back it up to 15 yards.
My goodness gracious.
So they're right back where they just were before the run.
All right, so I feel like we are doing a little redo here, trying to press rewind here. Young Buster Rhymes with that line. But anyway, 1st and 10 to 38. And here's a handoff. And going backwards a couple yards to about the 34, 33-yard line.
And there's the timeout.
Yep, timeout called by the Mountaineers. And I don't think anyone chooses a timeout here in this second half, so I think the Mountaineers may have used their first.
I believe that's the first one.
I mean, this obviously has been a rather entertaining game, to say the least.
Yeah, and there was no reason for anybody to call a timeout because they keep stopping with the penalties. They don't need to use them.
Well,
that's why nobody's used them here in the second half.
I mean, I find these things rather hard to believe, but like I said, it's a good thing this is happening now rather than happen in October or November.
Yeah, these are things that your coaches are going to go back and look at the film and see exactly what happened, and then they're going to go to these players that have committed these penalties and say, listen, we got to get this fixed before the regular season starts because we can't have this during the year.
Well, Lester Cream, I'm sure, is going to go back to the drawing board and say, what went wrong in the second half, and probably going to give about a week of teaching as to what not to do and what to do to rectify the problem and get themselves set up for their next season. So the Mountaineers come back onto the field. This has been quite a night. and Howard saying you're telling me, but hey, Mother Nature started all this.
Yeah, it's been an eventful day. I can tell you that. Not just with the football field, with everything.
Well, think about this. Originally, it was supposed to be a triple header, but unfortunately, things changed at the last minute, so we end up with 2 games here.
I think we're kind of grateful that we didn't get that third game.
And here's a pass by Taylor, deep left side. It's caught to the 20, down to the 19-yard line, and that will probably do it. The Hail Mary answered.
Stanley Bayless.
Yep, Stanley Bayless, and boy, he bailed the Owls out and then some.
Yeah, that's a great job. He just ran a fly pattern down the sideline. The quarterback threw it up and let him go run underneath it. That's a great job to get that get that team rolling again.
A 47-yard pickup, and that may just put the nail in the coffin in this one.
Yeah, that should put this game away here.
I mean, it may not have been the prettiest game in the world, but I mean, especially this final quarter, but that was a play the Owls absolutely needed. And when you have that championship pedigree that the Owls have, you end up making these plays at the right time, and you end up getting yourself bailed out of these particular situations.
Yeah,
that's something else.
That's just crazy the way the momentum's been shifting back and forth in the last 3 or 4 drives here.
And you know what? I think they said the game's over.
Yeah, that's it.
Because he's waving the football, and the Tri-County Owls, let's just say they survive, winning by a score of 14-6 over the Hudson County Mountaineers. Personally, I'll again say my offensive MVP is going to be a Goodwin. On defense, I think the man who made the difference was David Hill with that pick 6. But
yeah,
I think that. Game.
Listen, if they don't get that pick 6, we're looking at a 7-6 game right now.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. But an entertaining game to say the least, and a great night here in Pensacola. Despite the delays, despite all the chaos and disorder which occurred, we had 2 very good games, and we couldn't be prouder of anything more than that. And that's always enjoyable to have, because a lot of times we see games that end up being 45-0 all the time, and it's a complete blowout.
Agreed.
Here we had 8 quarters today of entertaining football, which began with the dramatic finish with the Gladiators and the Sharks, and ending here with the Owls and the Mountaineers, and that definitely was a good one.
Yeah, it was. Again, we saw a lot of mistakes, a lot of things that need to be changed before their season starts, and some corrections and timings and things like that. Second half, they looked like they got the timing worked out, but some of the other things kind of fell off a little bit. So, again, both teams have a little work to do before we get to the regular season, but at least they know where they stand and they know what they need to work on right now.
Absolutely right. And I truly believe, I mean, like I said, when we end these games, they shake hands, and in some cases they go into a post-game prayer with both teams together. That again shows the brotherhood of not just the league, but also semi-pro football in general, and maybe even football in general as it is, based upon what they go through. Because football really is a fraternity of people who they play together. I mean, they may be enemies for 3 hours, but in the end, they become the best of friends right after it's all said and done, regardless of which side you're on. It doesn't matter if it's football, it's also in the game of life, too.
Yeah, and I think, with football, you can play on a team with a guy for a few years, maybe win a championship or not, but, you kind of build up a little camaraderie. You may not see that guy for 10, 15 years after you're done playing football, and you come to a game or you see him somewhere on the street, and it's like, hey, buddy, I haven't seen you in, whereas in regular life, you see somebody maybe from high school that you really didn't talk to in high school, and you see him 20, 30 years later, and you kind of give him a hey, hello, and that's the end of it. The football kind of, you'll sit down and have a beer with a guy 20 years later and talk about football because you played against each other.
Okay, so we're gonna, in just a couple of minutes, we will have the MVPs and the trophy presentation to the Tri-County Owls, of course, for winning this game over the Hudson County Mountaineers by a final score of 14-6. Of course, the Gladiators won Game 1 in dramatic fashion over the Jersey Sharks 14-13. We really have had 2 fantastic games here today, and a very memorable Stop the Violence tournament, and hopefully the meaning is there, because, hey, when it comes to anything in life, in football, in work, in anything, you have to remember, love might be the greatest of all things, but we only have humanity to deal with. And it looks like they're ready for the presentation, so let's go ahead. trying to work on some technical things on the field. Microphone may not be on, but we'll give it another shot.
Hey,
there we are.
There we
don't
go.
have me to start knocking motherfuckers out. Respect. Oh, well. I'm like, damn. Leave my auntie alone.
It was on. Okay. All right, so they just given the trophy presentation out. They kind of lost the thing for a minute, but Goodwin got the offensive MVP, and I believe Hill was the defensive MVP for this game for the Tri-County Owls. So what a night here. We're very glad that all of you guys were with us, and thank you for sticking with us for the last 7+ hours in the first ever Stop the Violence football tournament. For Howard Gaber and for Frank Cicino, I'm Tom Wilkins saying good night for now. Your final score here for Game 2 after the Garden State Gladiators won 14-13 over the Jersey Sharks. The Tri-County Owls winners over the Hudson County Mountaineers 14-6. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks from Madison, New Jersey. This has been a presentation, a special one indeed, for Stop the Violence and the HSG Network.